bus. Normally used in search and rescue operations or to ferry large groups of people, the S92's size and the power of its twin engines are being utilised today to manage the approximately 1 tonne weight of Electron's booster. The helicopter's capture zone is about 150 nautical miles off New Zealand's coast. The helicopter will wait in this area, a safe distance from where Electron is expected to return, before it attempts the catch. To do this, the S92 is equipped with a long line with a capture hook that will be used to snag in Electron's parachute cable as it slowly descends over the ocean. To practice our rocket catching skills, we've carried out many mid-air capture tests prior to this mission. These were conducted by dropping an Electron first stage test article from a second helicopter, deploying the stage's parachute, and then using the S92 to catch the stage as it descends. And I'm going to take you through a quick rundown also through the recovery process once today's mission leaves the pad. At about 2.5 minutes after liftoff, Electron's first and second stages will separate like normal. Electron's second stage will continue on to orbit for payload deployment, while Electron's first stage will reorient itself and begin its descent back to Earth. It does this with tiny thrusters on the main body to tilt the first stage on the correct angle to slice through the atmosphere on the way back down. After deploying a drogue parachute at 13 kilometers or 8.3 miles altitude, the main parachute will be extracted at around 6 kilometers or 3.7 miles above Earth. This double deployment of chutes will help to dramatically slow the stage to a speed of just 36 kilometers or 22.3 miles per hour. This is expected to take place from about 8 minutes and 12 seconds in the mission. As the stage enters the capture zone, our helicopter will swoop in and rendezvous with the returning stage and capture it by its parachute line. And so, as we approach the T-minus 12-minute mark in this count to our launch, our operators on console will be run through the go, no-go poll by this mission's launch director, Joseph Carpico. This is the final assessment on whether all of Electron's systems are go for launch, and our operators are happy to proceed. Let's listen in to Mission Control and check in on how we are tracking for launch.
Right, LD sounds like we're holding.
Copy that. All operators, this is the LD on mission. We have held the count at T-minus 12 minutes and stand by for an update here shortly.
So it sounds like we've got a hold in that go, no-go poll from our launch director. So we're going to stand by, listen in for more information from Mission Control, and wait for an update.
All operators, this is the LD on mission. Please continue to monitor your critical systems and be prepared for a go, no go on restarting of the count.
those of you just joining us, a quick note to let you know that we are in a hold at T-minus 12 minutes to launch. We're standing by for an update from Mission Control, and as soon as we have that, we'll share that with you here. Everyone, just an update for those of you who have joined us again, that we are in a hold at T-minus 12 minutes while we wait for an update from our launch director on whether we'll proceed through to T0. But on your screen, you've got those live views coming in from the recovery helicopter out over the Pacific Ocean. Our hold should not have an effect on these recovery procedures, so no worries there. But we'll come back to you with an update as soon as we hear more from our launch director.
All operators, this is the LD on mission. I've resumed the count. We are now at 13 minutes, 26 seconds and counting. The new T0 time is 224952 UTC or 104952 New Zealand Standard Time.
So So there we go. That was good news from our launch director. The count has resumed towards our launch today from LC1 of There and Back Again. We have a new T0 time. It's 10:49
This is the LD on mission. I
a.m.
can confirm I am actively monitoring mission cord, LV cord, range cord, and safety net.
Just to finish up there, I just want to confirm
All
that we have a new...
Please be prepared for a go, no-go poll at T-minus 12 minutes.
Okay, so we have a new T0 time at 10:49 a.m. New Zealand local time, or 22:49 UTC. And as you heard from our launch director there, we are about 18 seconds away from the go, no-go poll for this mission. So we'll wait here with mission control comms and listen into what our operators have to confirm.
All operators, this is the LD on mission with a go, no-go sequence poll. Stage.
Stages go.
Avionics.
Avionics is go.
GNC.
GNC's go.
VCon.
VCon is go.
T1.
T1 is go.
GC.
GC is go.
PLS.
PLS is go.
RSO.
RSO is go.
MET.
MET is go.
MM.
MM is go.
LD sub.
LD sub go.
All operators, this is the LD on mission. Go, no go sequence is complete. We are T-minus 11 minutes, 24 seconds and counting. We are go for terminal count at T-minus 10 minutes. From this time, the 3-word hold procedure is in effect.
So there you have it. We are back on track because that is confirmation from Mission Control that the systems are healthy and we will be proceeding with the remainder of the count. The T0 liftoff time is a new time of 10:49 a.m. New Zealand local time, or 22:49 UTC. So liftoff time for our Eastern time zone viewers is 18:49, and for our Pacific viewers it is 15:49. Today is Electron's time to shine, but recently we also celebrated a major step forward in our program for Neutron, our much bigger new rocket. We have broken ground at the location of our new Neutron production complex and launch pad in Wallops Island, Virginia. It's here we are planning to create more than 200 new jobs to support Neutron's development and its launch capability from the Mid-Atlantic Regional Spaceport. Neutron is our new launch vehicle designed to lift 13 tons of payload and to provide a tailored launch solution for satellite mega constellations. Neutron will take Rocket Lab Reusability another step into the future as a fully reusable rocket designed to land back on the launch pad after a mission and from there be returned to the nearby production complex for refurbishment and reflight. With construction underway and Neutron's development really ramping up, there are many exciting opportunities to join the team. You can check these out for yourself on the careers page of our website at rocketlabusa.com.
Avionics LD on mission.
LD avionics.
Yes, sir. Please proceed with sequence 56, avionics terminal checks.
Proceeding with sequence 56, avionics terminal checks.
Today we're lifting off from Pad A at Launch Complex 1, but right next door is Pad B, where we will be hosting a very exciting mission next month. Flying in May from Launch Complex 1, we are taking the step before the leap with the launch of the Capstone mission to the Moon to support NASA's intent to return humans to the lunar surface. With our Electron rocket and our Photon spacecraft, our role is to deliver the Capstone small satellite owned and operated by Advanced Space to a particular orbit of the Moon where NASA is planning for Gateway, a future small space station to provide astronauts with access to the Moon. Their capstone will test and verify the orbital stability of that location, as well as test whether communication with NASA's Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter can gauge positioning, potentially allowing future spacecraft to determine their location relative to the Moon without having to rely on tracking from Earth. Here's more about the mission and how we'll deliver it to the Moon with Electron and Photon.
Rocket Lab is supporting NASA's mission to return humans to the Moon. Launching on Electron this year, NASA's Capstone cislunar satellite will orbit the Moon, serving as a pathfinder for Gateway, a moon-orbiting outpost that is part of NASA's Artemis program to return humans to the lunar surface. Capstone's mission is to refine our knowledge of the dynamics of a unique halo-shaped orbit, paving the way for people to follow. The Near Rectilinear Halo Orbit, or NRHO, has an unobstructed view of Earth at all times, and also enables communications coverage of the lunar South Pole, the destination of NASA Artemis astronauts. Most Rocket Lab missions to date have deployed spacecraft to an orbit around 500 kilometers above Earth. But this mission will see us go a little bit further than usual, some 384,000 kilometers further. To get there, Electron will launch Capstone to an initial low Earth orbit. From there, Rocket Lab's Photon spacecraft takes over, providing in-space propulsion to conduct a series of orbit-raising maneuvers. This builds up enough velocity to perform a translunar injection, allowing Capstone to break free of Earth's gravity and set a course for the Moon. Capstone will use its own propulsion system to enter a cislunar orbit. Traditionally, smallsats have had to wait years for a rideshare opportunity on a large rocket in order to reach lunar and deep space destinations. With Rocket Lab, the smallsats call the shots, getting a dedicated ride to exactly where they want to go and on their schedule.
Capstone is a hugely exciting mission supported by the hundreds of team members in the Rocket Lab family at locations across the world. Right now, the team are preparing the Electron rocket for that mission, running through the final tests and checks of Photon, confirming the phasing orbit mission trajectories, readying the launch pad and spacecraft integration facilities, and preparing systems for the mission. We're proud to be working alongside NASA, Advanced Space, and Terran Orbital to deliver this historic mission and play our part in humanity's return to the Moon. But turning our attention back to the pad at LC1 now, and we can see that Electron's top clamp has opened and the strong back has moved away from the launch vehicle. This is a good visual indication that the mission is on track for liftoff, retracting the strong back out of the way for Electron to power off the pad at T0. And a look at the countdown clock, and we can see that we are just minutes away now from the final operational procedures before launch. Very exciting. We remain go for launch with greens across the board for the launch vehicle, payloads, the weather, and our recovery team. At T-minus 2 minutes, Electron will move to the countdown auto sequence, which is when the flight computers on the rocket take over the launch countdown from manual control. At T-minus 1 minute 30 seconds, we should hear the call that LOX loading is complete on Electron, telling us that the vehicle is fully fueled for launch. At T-minus 1 minute, the call will come from mission control that Electron's first and second stages are pressurized for launch and the vehicle is ready. Then we'll move to the final countdown to liftoff at T-minus 10 seconds and engine ignition shortly before liftoff at T0. Let's go to mission control comms now and listen in to our launch director take us through the final count.
LD GC on mission.
Go GC.
ECS disabled, pad auto sequence is armed, pad is ready for launch.
Copy.
LD avionics mission.
Go ahead, avionics.
Recovery system is on internal power and enabled for flight.
Roger, thank you, sir. GNC, LD on mission.
LD, GNC.
Yes, sir. Confirm all expected recovery ASGOs are green and being monitored.
Confirmed.
All operators, this is the LD on mission with the LD go for launch. From now on, there should be no red flags on your critical LCCs. VCON, LD on mission.
LD VCON.
Confirm all expected flight computer ASGOs are green.
Confirmed green.
VCON, lock auto sequencing confirmed.
Confirmed locked.
All operators, we are go for auto sequence start at T-minus 2 minutes. LD is go for launch. That's the exciting part. So what it's doing now is it's waiting for liftoff, but it's also sequencing that state internally.
Avionics batteries have switched to internal power. Vehicle is fully on internal power. AFTS is green and enabled for flight.
Locks load complete. Lock system in recirculation. All anti-gas string disabled.
Stage 1 and Stage 2 are pressed for flight.
High flow engine purge is enabled. Deluge is activated.
T-minus 20 seconds and counting. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we have liftoff.
Stage 1 propulsion is nominal.
T plus 31 seconds into the mission, and Electron is airborne after our 26th launch from LC1. We have a great view of that Electron leaving the pad as Electron powers its way to space. We are now at 4 kilometers in altitude, and very soon Electron will reach max Q. This is what's known as the point in the mission when the aerodynamic forces against the rocket are at their peak and cause the most amount of stress Electron will experience on its ascent. The call that we've cleared max Q should come from mission control shortly.
Vehicle has cleared max Q.
Having cleared max Q, Electron's trajectory remains on track and its propulsion is looking nominal as the mission continues to orbit. Soon we'll be coming up to the separation of the rocket stages that will signal the beginning of our Electron recovery attempt. First up will be MECO, or main engine cutoff, on Electron's first stage. This is when the rocket's 9 Rutherford engines on its first stage power down, and then the rocket will drift for just a moment before the first and second stage separate. The second stage's engine should then start up and power the mission onto orbit, while Electron's booster begins its journey back toward the capture zone here on Earth. As it makes its way home, we'll stay with that live camera feed for as long as we can. But before we get ahead of ourselves, let's wait for the call out of those first 3 events.
"15 seconds to Miko."
Miko confirmed.
Stage separation successful.
Stage 2 ignition confirmed.
And here we go, it is happening. Electron has successfully completed Miko, stage separation and second stage engine start. Our Electron recovery attempt is now officially in motion, and we are off to a fantastic start with this mission. As the mission continues for our customers, the fairing protecting their satellites will soon separate and fall away in preparation of payload deployment. We'll wait to see that on our screens. Oh, and there it goes. We had that visual and audio confirmation we were after of the fairing successfully deploying. A check of stage 2 speed and altitude tells us the mission is continuing nominally, currently at more than 125 kilometers above Earth and reaching speeds of more than 8,000 kilometers per hour. Onward to orbit.
Stage 2 propulsion is nominal.
Guidance is nominal.
When the booster's engines shut down, the stage continued to coast to apogee. Now, during that coast, the reaction control thrusters on the stage will have moved Electron into position to better help it survive its hot and fast travel on the way back to Earth. Once we hear the call that the first stage has reached apogee, we know that what goes up must then come back down and head toward the capture zone where our recovery helicopter is waiting for it. Electron's second stage engine, as you heard there, is continuing nominally and firing hot as the mission continues to orbit. All payloads on the stage remain healthy and ready for release to their 520-kilometer circular orbit. The next milestones to watch out for will be the deployment of the first chute on the Electron booster and the swap of the batteries powering the Stage 2 Rutherford engine. Now, both events should occur within seconds of each other and be confirmed across mission control comms, so we'll make sure to listen out for those. Meanwhile, our recovery helicopter is ready and waiting out over the Pacific Ocean for that drogue chute on the Stage 1 to deploy, knowing that will indicate the main chute deployment and helicopter catch attempt will be only minutes away. Taking a look at the telemetry, Electron's second stage continues on its journey to orbit at a speed of over 11,000 kilometers an hour and an altitude of more than 220 kilometers. Meanwhile, Electron's first stage is on the correct angle of attack to make its way through the wall, as you can see on your left there. Now, that wall is the roughest part of the atmosphere, but thanks to the RCS thrusters we mentioned earlier, the Stage 1 booster is on a very smooth descent. We are coming up to the next gate, though, for Electron's second stage to clear, the battery hot swap for its Rutherford engine. This engine is the world's first to use the electric pump feed cycle for orbital space travel. To keep the propellant pump system going all the way to orbit, we swap out the batteries as they are drained with a new set to keep the system running. We're likely to catch the glint of sunlight reflecting off the discarded battery packs as they fall away, so keep your eyes on your screen for that and your ears open for the call from Mission Control to confirm.
Nominal. Approaching hot swap in roughly 30 seconds.
Guidance is nominal.
Hot swap successful.
Battery jetting confirmed.
Coming up on drogue deploy.
Stage 2 propulsion holding nominal.
Guidance is nominal.
Drogue deployed.
Battery hot swap is confirmed, and so too, you heard it there, the deployment of the drogue chute on Electron's first stage. The second stage is continuing nominally on its mission for our customers. You can see it on your screen there. And for recovery, we are around 30 seconds or so away from the main parachute being released. This action should really slow down the booster's travel to a slow enough speed for our recovery helicopter to safely move in and attempt to capture it.
Confirmed good shoot.
Fantastic news there from Mission Control. We have just had confirmation that the main parachute on stage 1 was successfully deployed and the S-92 helicopter can prepare to capture Electron. We'll be bringing you updates as soon as we have them, but very soon we are also expecting SECO on the final stage separation of the kick stage. We'll wait for those calls, but stick with this view from the helicopter as long as we can.
Entered burnout detect.
Guidance is in terminal, 27 seconds remaining.
It's a bit longer of a second stage burn than normal to get us to our 520 kilometre SSO orbit. On the left you can see the helicopter moving into position, and on the right we have Electron's second stage travelling onto orbit.
SECO.
Stage 3 separation confirmed. Normal transfer orbit achieved.
You see it on the screen there. The Rutherford engine on Electron stage 2 has successfully shut down, and stage 2 and the kick stage will have cleanly separated. The kick stage will now enter what we call a coasting phase while it's in an elliptical orbit before its Curie engine ignites and propels it into its sun-synchronous orbit, where we will deploy the satellites. Now, on the left of your screen, you can see the views from that recovery helicopter. We have only a few minutes left in the capture window where that helicopter can safely recover Electron. Remember, catching a returning rocket stage mid-air is as it returns from space is as highly complex as it sounds, and it demands extreme precision. So several critical milestones must align perfectly to ensure a successful capture. We are on track to do that, but we are prepared with an ocean vessel nearby. And we've just had confirmation as well that the parachute is in sight of the pilot on that chopper. Exciting stuff. Hopefully we'll see it on our screens there soon too. We are all waiting on the edge of our seats here at our facilities. If this catch is a success, it marks an enormous milestone in our recovery program. Let's hope we can see that parachute in the frame of the camera soon. We've got various members of our recovery team stationed at the drop zone back on land, out on the recovery vessel for support. Here in MCC, they're in that crowd as you've seen in some of our shots. And of course, we have our pilot in the powerful Sikorsky S-92 helicopter in the sky over the Pacific, ensuring this is all going according to plan. Now you can see some of our recovery team members there. I don't think they could get any closer to that screen if they could. They are no doubt very anxious and waiting, like we all are, for this capture attempt to go ahead. It was only 3 years ago, can you believe it, that we announced the Recovery and Reusability Program. And here we are today after 5 successful previous re-entries, bringing us to this moment. What you can see on your screen is the line from the helicopter with the capture hook at the end of it. That pilot is moving into position to attempt that catch with the Electron booster underneath the parachute. Hopefully we'll see that on our screen soon. But keep your fingers crossed for this attempt. Just very quickly, while I can, I want to point you to the right side of the screen that shows that the kick stage is on its elliptical path above the world and onward to orbit for our customers. And then, of course, again, we're all keeping our eyes on the left, that you can see the recovery helicopter in that zone moving in for the catch attempt. Hopefully, again, that we see that soon. I don't know about all of you viewing, but the longer I watch this line waiting for that parachute to come in. Oh, there we go. We've got our first glimpse of it. Absolutely incredible stuff there. We have successfully caught that Electron booster underneath the parachute. So that helicopter, confirming again, has hooked onto the drogue line and has captured Electron. Just incredible. So now the helicopter will bring the stage to land, where our engineers will analyze and determine if Electron is suitable for reflight. Now we're going to take a bit of a break on the webcast, but we will be back with you closer to payload deployment for the primary mission to listen into those final moments from mission control. I'll see you back here soon. Welcome back to the webcast of Rocket Lab's 26th Electron mission there and back again. If you're just joining us, today's launch included a successful liftoff at 10:49 a.m. New Zealand local time, or 22:49 UTC. After passing through Max Q, Electron completed a clean first and second stage separation. Now, of course, today's secondary mission objective was catching Electron's first stage booster with a helicopter. And if you are watching the mission, you will have seen earlier we witnessed a spectacular catch of Electron's first stage by our helicopter pilot. This is a monumental step forward in our program to make Electron a reusable launch vehicle. Now, after the catch, the helicopter pilot noticed different load characteristics than we've experienced in testing, which of course you do expect when testing anything in the field for the first time. At his discretion, the pilot offloaded the stage for a successful splashdown, where it is being recovered by our vessel for transport back to our factory. The stage is in great condition though, and we look forward to assessing it in detail when it's back here in the factory, and of course getting ready for more helicopter catches soon. Meanwhile, the kick stage has completed its first pass in an elliptical orbit of Earth, and we've had good ignition of its Curie engine to position the kick stage in sun-synchronous orbit, where we'll drop off the 34 satellites on board this rideshare mission for 6 customers. The deployments will happen in succession shortly after the Curie engine has shut down, so let's listen in.
And Curie shut down. Nominal circularization.
Brilliant. That is a good Curie shutdown confirmed there by Mission Control, so it is time to put some satellites on orbit. First up in today's deployment sequence are the spacecraft for eSpace. eSpace's payload consists of 3 demonstration satellites to validate the systems and technology for its sustainable satellite system. The satellites can automatically deorbit if any system malfunctions occur, keeping space nice and clean. We should hear confirmation of a successful deployment soon.
eSpace payload deployment is successful.
There you go. Payload deployment is successful for eSpace. We hope you enjoyed the ride. Up next for deployment from Electron's kick stage, we have some Space Bees from Internet of... And there they go. Payload deployment for Swarm successful there from the kick stage. So next we will have the Bro 6 satellite for our friends at Unseen Labs. This is the 6th in its constellation and the 3rd launch Rocket Lab has provided for Unseen Labs to expand it. Let's listen in for that confirmation.
Bro 6 deployment successful.
That's what we like to hear. Bro 6 has successfully separated from the kick stage. We're now almost at the halfway point of today's deployments. Now we are listening out for the call that AuroraSat 1 has been deployed. This satellite is also known as the Flying Object, which, while it sounds mysterious, will be doing the good deed of demonstrating space junk removal technologies for small satellites, including propulsion devices and plasma brakes that enable the sustainable use of space.
AuroraSat 1 deployment successful.
And there we have it, another payload successfully in orbit. The next deployment is for a second stack of Space Bees satellites for Swarm. We'll give the Flying Object a bit of space first, but we should hear the call for successful deployment of the Space Bees any moment.
Second group of Space Bees released successfully.
You heard it there, the Space Bees have separated from the kick stage. That leaves us with just 2 payloads to go. Up next we have the 4 Pico satellite payloads for one of our returning customers, Alba Orbital. We've got Alba's own Unicorn 2 Pocket Cube satellite, along with the TRSI 2 and 3, and a MyRadar 1, all from MyRadar. We are thrilled to provide the Alba team with a ride to space once again.
Alba Cluster X deployed successfully.
And that's Mission Control confirming that the Alba orbital payload has been successfully deployed. So we are down to the final remaining payload for this mission, the Copia spacecraft for Asterix. Now this final payload is a little unique in that it remains attached to the kick stage to conduct its technology demonstration, testing inflatable solar power generation technology. This deployment won't happen for another 15 minutes or so, but we'll keep you posted via social media, so keep an eye out there. So with that, I am delighted to confirm mission success for today's launch. Thank you, as always, to our fantastic mission partners. It is an honor and a privilege to deliver your spacecraft to orbit. Thank you to our incredible team who made today's mission possible, and a huge congratulations again to our recovery team for another step forward in the recovery program today. To find out more about what's next in that program and to stay up to date on upcoming missions, follow us across our social media platforms. So thank you again for joining us for this webcast. We'll see you back here soon for our next launch, taking us a bit further than usual, coming up very soon. This is Rocket Lab Mission Control, signing off.